Hello all, Erick Hoxter back here again today, and we're going to play some more rapid chess. Going to try to implement some of the things I've learned from my Kara's endgame studies and Selman's The Amateur Mind and things like that, and just put into practice. I mean, that's the purpose of playing rapid games online when you're not playing in between those over the board games. So I'm going to go ahead and look for an opponent here, and this one's going to be to put me over 1500 again. So it's actually pretty exciting. And I also started doing lessons on Periscope that I'm going to save and put to YouTube eventually, where I talk about some of the small things, uh, how to calculate an advantage, what it really means to have the center, why space is important, um, looking at good versus bad minor pieces, etc., and things like that that have really helped me, and stuff like that for the class D or like lower class level players can really put you into that 16, 1700 range, and it just really helps. It gives you a better understanding of the game. When I play, I no longer look at a position and say, well, I can do this, this, and this and make this move, and then I'll be winning. I say, you know, I have two pawns in the center, I have a better knight, I have this in a closed position, etc. And then I know my position's better or worse. All right, so he's playing a little plan to get his minor pieces to attack the center. I was thinking about just playing d4, d5, because that way I can kind of just save my knights there, or my pawn, instead of because I wouldn't be able to develop my knight, and I don't want to develop my b knight to c3 right away. That just looks awkward, even though it's like reverse Scotch-ish kind of, but not really. We have Ernesto 12, rated 1421. He plays a lot of classical games. Awesome. He's playing pretty fast. Let's see. All right. He's going to take in the center. I'm not sure if I should waste another tempo. Instead of developing a piece and just play. I will anyway. Because if he takes, I want to go ahead and keep both my pawns in the center. Because that's what I want to do. Now attack his loose pawn. He's going to either play d6 or f6. Probably d6. Develop my bishop here. Where do I want to put it? I'm not sure actually. I can keep it kind of protecting my pawns here, kind of like the foundation. I think I can do that. Yeah, see, these kind of moves I never understand. I'm not going to play bishop to g5. I mean, if he does decide to castle that side, it does gives his king that flight square immediately. So it's a little prophylactic, but not really. Maybe I should just castle. All right, I'll castle. I don't know where I want my other minor pieces. My bishop, I think, is going to be looking good on d2. What if I play weirdly and play b4 right away? And it kind of gives like a little shifted over four pawns attacking the Alekhine kind of vibe to it. But the importance of it is to kind of keep the knight out of c5, where it's kind of anchored into the center there. Because if I play b5, he can play or b4, he can play a5. So maybe I should just develop. Yeah, because if he plays knight there first, I can wait and then attack his knight. But then he'll attack my bishop. So maybe I should take some time moving that away first. But I don't want to move a piece twice in the opening within the first 7 moves. Go ahead and play my rook in the center, play my bishop out. I'm just going to play my bishop out. If he plays the knight there, then I'll go ahead and take the time to move it out. So he continues developing. Eventually I'm going to move my knight so I can play f5 maybe or something. Or maybe I'm going to want my rook to go to the b or c file and push my pawns that way. I think I'm just going to develop normally. Alright, I think now I'm going to go ahead and play h3. Make his knight not so good. Yeah, I don't really see the purpose. My knight has plenty of squares to go to. I think I can get away with b5 now and attempt to push here. Or do I want to put my rook on the b or c file now? Because the position's really closed. I just want to have control over what squares he can and cannot go to. Like in my last video, I kind of talked about the Steiners rule of limiting the knight as much as possible, even in these positions where it's supposed to be good. So, if he pushes his pawn again, h takes g, knight takes g, yeah, then he's in a decent position with his queen and bishop soon coming in, which I'm not sure I'm going to like. I'd consider sacrificing, but I don't think that's really necessary. If he does come, I could always push my knight back, or pull my knight back rather. But I think I'll keep my focus over here. I just have to keep an eye out for the G and H file there. And in case anyone was wondering, no, I'm not using my own internet. Still, because it's still having such a problem. So I am over my lady's house using her internet. You know, being in kind of a succubus of sorts. Where is he going? What's he want to do? I feel like that was a bad move, but how can I take advantage of it? He's not castling. He's not... Where does he want his piece to go? Now he can't push that pawn. The G pawn. His knight's terrible on the rim. I wonder if I can get away with bishop e3 and then pushing and then putting my rook behind the pawn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And I can kind of get my knight in there. But I think I just want to keep the square unoccupied for to keep the knight at bay. So maybe a quiet move. Or an aggressive move. A4, just kind of keeping total control. And busting open the queen side. Eventually, when I'm ready. His bishop's no good. My bishop's defending the base points here, which I think it serves a purpose, a better purpose than his bishop. My dark square bishop has a little more scope than his dark square bishop and can come to e3 anytime, which is good. So he's going to go for this attack. I think it could be helpful if I push g4, then h5, then what? It's not really doing anything. I keep his bishop bed. He's still not castling, so I gotta break through sometime to kind of punish him for that. Eventually, maybe I can bring my knight over to help out. I know I gotta be careful with moving the pawns in front of my king. Maybe do it anyway. If I do and he brings his knight back, then I can always move my knight for defense of the pawn. Yeah, I gotta be careful of that, but I think the way this position is, it's gonna be okay. Maybe I should just move my knight back now. He's making a lot of knight moves, and I'm being reactive, but I want to be aggressive. I don't want to be reactive. Alright, I can play my bishop here to e3 and then back my knight up after h5. Or no, bishop at e3, h5. Then I'd be able to take the pawn. With my knight? I take with my knight. Doesn't really have any other squares, but he stays defended. Yeah, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. Because if he pushes, I'll go ahead and take his pawn. And keep an eye on c5 here. I'm not going to play my knight into b5, because if he pushes his pawn or pushes his a or c pawn I take with my pawn, but then he takes back with his bishop and I'm just helping him out. And that's the thing, you don't want to do that. I've used more time than my opponent, but that's because I'm talking through my moves, which I think is important because that's the reason why we play rapid games. Am I right? Am I right? But even with a 10-second increment, he's only used a minute and a half, probably closer to 2.5 minutes, because he played 12 moves with a 10-second increment. Alright, he doesn't want me to have... Okay, so in hindsight, a3 was probably the better move, considering that a5 could be played. I could play rook b1. Yeah, because I wanted to play that anyway for this plan. But this is still me being reactive. I'm not... I don't know if I should have pursued it sooner or what. Now his knight does get into that square. It's a closed position, so maybe I should just take with my bishop. But how much effect does it have on defending, helping out with the attack on g5 and such? Right now, my pawn's properly defended, so I don't have to do anything. I can just back my bishop up and be fine. Which I think I'll do. I'm not going to take the knight. I'll let him have a decent home for now. But my e4 pawn hangs now. I should have played bishop c2. Yeah, bishop c2 is the move. That was a mistake. But he doesn't see it. Can I punish with the defense? Attacking the pawn, or capture the pawn, defending this twice. His knight can't move anywhere except for d7. He can get away with the capture. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Keep the split pawns or no? No. And then maybe I'll play f3 or keep my bishop defending. I'm not sure. Could play my knight into knight b5, c6, d takes c, bishop takes c, then my knight's looking silly, so that's no go. What does he want to do? He's attacking my weak pawn, and I do have these weak dark squares and these weak light squares. I have all weak squares around my king. So if I play my bishop here, I think that'll be fine. Keep my knight defended. His knight can't move anywhere now. Actually, if knight h5, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook takes, then that'll be a trade, and I'll actually be okay. I'll be up material. Actually, no. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. I was thinking my pawn would be in a pin, but that's after the fact. Rook takes with check, and then just move my king up. He wants to castle and get his king safe. Do I allow it? I need to get my rook over with my other rook and get my king towards the center here. I think in a closed position, I'm better off trading the bishop. But he defends the knight, so I gotta do something first. Mm, hmm. If I play a quiet move, and it does defend my knight again. I'm not worried about queen or knight b3, obviously. Do 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 do. I'm up a pawn. All right, if he takes my knight, it's not gonna be good. It's actually getting pretty dangerous. Take his rook and come down, but there's no real threat. I can always bring my king in here, and that'll be fine. Yeah. I should have just doubled. Yeah, I don't know why I made that move so quickly. If I'm going to bring my rook over, I might as well put it to a square where it's going to be useful. Now my pawn's attacked. Yeah, should have put my rook either the A or B file. A file didn't defend the pawn. Yeah, I should put to the A file. Not doubled up yet. But he doesn't see it. He's not making these aggressive moves that I would make. Is there something I'm missing? I wonder if I can get away with pushing my pawn twice. Or if I can get away with getting rid of this knight. I think I need to. I only have 5 minutes left. 5.5 minutes left. Yeah. Now I kind of eliminated all his threats that he wasn't able to, that he didn't take advantage of. Not that he wasn't able to, he just didn't. If I push my pawn, queen takes, then what? Queen takes, queen takes. I'd just be losing a pawn. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'll have this nice home for my knight. No, because c6 would be devastating. So I don't have that home. Hmm. I wonder if I move back and put my knight on b5. If he pushes, I'll just take. h1's defended. Yeah, so I have nothing to worry about there. But now if I push, it's good. Because I have that extra defense there. Yeah. And I can bring my knight in. Yeah, this is just good for me. I'm still up just a pawn, but I like my position a lot better. These rooks on the h-file are of no threat to my king whatsoever. But my bishop's under attack. But if I check, then what? I can't let him take my bishop. So I could either move a rook up, or I can move my bishop down. Rook b3. Definitely anything to worry about. So I gotta keep my pawn's defended by my knight also. Yeah, I think that's just fine. His bishop's still under attack. Ah, this loses. Yeah, with the fork. Yeah, good game. Yeah, so this entire game I was sorry, I have to go. So this game it was pretty even throughout, but there were just a couple of things my opponent wasn't taking advantage of. I had hanging pawns, I had possible threats that could have been taken advantage of right away. And then in the end I just kind of I pulled through by just making better moves and recognizing the position a little bit better. But I recognized where I went wrong as well. But my problem in my thinking and my thought process is, from what I believe, I just don't always see it right away. Like I see the minimal mistakes, like I moved my bishop. I think I undefended one of these two pawns, my c pawn or my e pawn, and my opponent could have captured, but they didn't. They kind of those take those small advantages. But either way, that kind of stuff just comes in time. I'm just glad to be able to be talking through my games because it makes all the difference. And this would have been just an exchange. It still would have been very, very interesting, I think. I mean, knight takes, rook takes, and double up on the d file. I guess I'd be winning his bishops unless he moves it and attacks my a pawn or something. Yeah, I mean, either way, this is a really good game. All right, so tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think about my thought process. Tell me where you think it was flawed. Tell me where you think I did well. If I I kind of downplayed his threats because I thought what I was doing was a lot better. But I guess everyone kind of does that in their own way. So it gets pretty fun. Just kind of learn where I'm at, where I'm going to. And right now, this is where I'm at, and I'm actually over 1500. I'm 1508. Goal has been met, and I'm going to keep rising, keep going up, keep studying, and look for my lessons on Periscope for more novice players to kind of learn some of the same things I'm learning as I'm learning them and as I'm progressing. So with that, until next time, be well, my friends.